Hey guys, it's Miriam. I'm back. I know it's been a while. I'm back on your cell phone screen, on your computer screen, but I'm back. And of course, I'm back to tell you and to give you my review of a huge movie, or a small little movie, called Captain Marvel. Of course, I watched it, so I know you want to know what I thought about it. So let's begin. Honestly, I'm stuttering because the trailers have been very, okay, yeah. There's been like one or two shots that you're like, whoa, I'm excited. But I wasn't overall like hyped about it. So coming into this film, I knew that I saw this image. This is the new Funko Pop, by the way, that they released of her. I saw this Captain Marvel, here we go, this one right here, in all her glory, all glowed up. And that's where I was, okay, like, I'm all in for the film. This film from the get, you're gonna love it from the first minute, and you'll see why. I'm gonna give you mild spoilers. I'm not gonna give you full-on spoilers. I will tell you when it's a spoiler or not. The storyline I loved. It flowed. It was kind of trippy, and you'll understand why when you watch the film. It takes you kind of all over the place, but I think that's what they intended to do, because right now Carol Danvers, or Verse, is all over the place, and you kind of are like tripped out. You're not understanding. It kind of freaks you out a little because you're like, wait, what? But it all will make sense throughout the movie. I loved Brie Larson. I think she's great. She nails the character. And by the way, this movie goes through the run of Kelly Sue DeConnick's Captain Marvel, because there's several runs of Marvel, Miss Marvel, but Carol Danvers, you know, Captain Marvel, that run is great. I got to read a couple of the issues, and you know, when I saw that on comic book, in the pages, and I see Brie Larson and the way she talks, the way she acts like Carol, she nails it, and I'm really glad that they chose her as Carol Danvers. She fits the role perfectly. It is set in the 90s, so everything you'll see is from the 90s, and if you're a 90s kid like me, seeing the Blockbuster video and seeing some of the cool, you know, shots and some of this like little Easter eggs of the 90s, it'll make you laugh, it'll make you smile, because, you know, it's the 90s and we all lived it, you know. Samuel L. Jackson and Brie Larson together are a great partnership. When she's with Samuel L. Jackson, their chemistry just takes it to a whole new other level. In the film, I think every time Samuel L. Jackson's in the film, or in any film, he just elevates the scene, and he's such a great actor, and he plays the role of Fury so perfectly, and to see him in the younger days. By the way, the CGI in this film is incredible. The fact that we got to see younger Samuel L. Jackson, it looked seamlessly. It looked great. I mean, me, because I'm a video production junkie, you know, you're able to see some of the stuff, the CGI and not, but the way they worked on Samuel L. Jackson and even Clark Gregg Coulson was just so perfect. You forgot that Fury is older. But yeah, no, it worked perfectly in the film. I wrote some notes, so don't mind me, I can't remember everything. Yes, I talked about Samuel L. Jackson. Goose the cat is great, that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. Stan Lee's cameo was it's so touching. But you'll see the film and you'll know where he pops up and all that good stuff. Jude Law is, so I'm gonna go back on this. You know, Marvel has always had the problems of the villains. The villains are just like, you know, when are they gonna ever get it right? I mean, I know they got it right for Thanos and Loki, but you know, it's always a struggle that Marvel has had. In this film, I have to give it up to them. They did a 180 on us, because they're telling us one thing and it's another. And what I mean with this, I don't want to get into spoiler territory. What I mean is that this film resonates a lot to Civil War. You don't know who's the good guy. You don't know who's the bad guy. You won't know until obviously the end of the film. And that's very interesting. I've never seen Marvel take this point of view, and I loved it, you know, because at first you're thinking, oh, okay, they're the villains, you know, and I got it right with one of the characters, but I don't want to spoil it for you. And if you know, then you know. It worked really well, and the fact that it has Civil War, like feeling, it worked well because you don't know who to trust. In Civil War, it's, you know, who's Hydra, who's Shield. And this one's like, okay, it's not who's Hydra, who's Shield, who's good and who's bad. And it kind of, that's where it all begins. And yeah, obviously I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but if you want to just scroll this, the Tesseract makes a presence in the film, and we finally know how the Tesseract came to Earth. We have some answers, and now we have some more questions. With this film, you know, it kind of slowed in the beginning. It was really slow pacing, you know, you're just trying to see like, okay, it was great the first 20 minutes, and then it just slowed a little, and then it picked up right for the third act. I think this film is Star Wars meets Marvel, and it clashes so beautifully. Again, like I said, CGI in the film was great, you know, even just seeing Samuel L. Jackson's, you know, younger version of Fury, it just tells me, wow, like, wow. Big things, pros in this film. I like the storyline, I like the play with the villains. Notice how I say us villains. And the big one, the post-credit scene, that's a huge scene. Now, I'm gonna talk about the post-credit scene towards the end of this video, because that's a big spoiler and I have questions, so I'll just leave it to the end. Another pro, oh, Annette Bening. She's phenomenal, that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, the whole cast in general is great. There's just a lot of everything for everyone. Yeah, I don't see much of a negative. I think just because there's some scenes that were just really slow and were not really needed. That's kind of my big downer. But other than that, this film is fun. It's very inspiring. For all those little girls who, it gives a great message for all those little girls who have been either bullied into not, you know, into them saying like, oh, you can't do it because you're a girl. It tells you very well, like this message in the film tells you that yes, you can. Like you can write your own story, and that no matter how many times you fall, you get up the next time. You get up and you go and be better and better, and you be the best version of you. And I loved that message. There's this part where I'm like, wow, me as a woman, I would have loved to seen this film way earlier than now. You know, I wish this film came out like 5 years ago or 10 years ago, but you know, times are different now, and now we have the film in a platform, and I encourage you all to take your little girls, take your boys, and watch this movie, because let me tell you, Thanos is good luck, Thanos. She's strong. And for those who think that she is not the most powerful Avenger, no, this film tells you very well that she is the most powerful Avenger. Oh yeah. Overall, I say go get your tickets, go watch the film. I'm most definitely gonna watch it again. And I wanna get to the good part, so if you are done watching this video, then thank you for listening to me, but I will be talking about the post-credit scenes now. So, big post-credit scene. Now, if you already watched the film and now you just came back for this part, let's talk about it. The post-credit scene seems to be a dolly from Avengers Endgame. So it seems to be a scene. Maybe they'll keep it or maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just leave it for the post-credit. In the film, you see that, you know, Brie Larson's character, Carol Danvers, gives Sam Jackson's that little pager that we saw in one of the post-credit scenes. I think it was in Infinity War. I believe it was Infinity War, or it was one of those movies after Infinity War. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's just so many. you see the pager, and then that's where he dissolves, and you see the pager on the floor. It seems like the Avengers, the remaining of the Avengers, have recovered the pager, and now they saw the signal of Captain Marvel's logo, the emblem. They see it, but then it fades. And then, of course, Scarlett Johansson's character says, we'll just have to wait until the signal comes back again. And boom, you see Carol Danvers saying, "Where's Fury?" Now, the way she looked in that post-credit scenes, her hair is longer. She looks pissed. So that's why I'm like, vaya con Dios, Thanos. It's going to be very interesting to see how Carol Danvers is going to get along with the Avengers. She doesn't know the Avengers. She's obviously wanting just to try to save Fury and possibly save the Earth. And maybe she can. Maybe she will be the one to literally put everything back together. But of course, there's just missing elements on that. Yeah, that scene, I mean, when we were all watching it, we were pretty gasped because, you know, this is the first time you're seeing Carol and the Avengers together, and then it goes to black and says Carol Danvers or Captain Marvel will be in Avengers Endgame. That's huge. That's so huge. I cannot wait for her to, you know, be together with Black Widow, of course Steve Rogers, and then Don Cheadle's War Machine. I am stoked for Avengers Endgame. That's the next Marvel film. I cannot wait. The second post-credit scene is like a blah post-credit scene because Marvel always has the big one and then the blah one. It's of course Goose. It's not blah to me because I love Goose, and he hurling out the Tesseract. I mean, I love Goose, and now I want to see a follow-up to that post-credit scene. Like, what does Fury do with the Tesseract? You know, I need to see that. I wish they would have switched the credits, but you know, Marvel's smart. They don't want the fans to be waiting that long, so of course they do it for the first post-credit scene, the big one, and then the whatever one. But yeah, overall, I loved the film. I loved the post-credit scenes because it gets us, you know, wanting more for Avengers Endgame. And yeah, and I wonder, because, you know, Avengers Endgame, the marketing team says that they'll be using the first 15 minutes of the film. I wonder if this dolly is in the first 20 minutes of the movie. I wouldn't be surprised if you want to get, you know, Captain Marvel already in the game and early in the game and in the movie. It makes sense. So I hope that happens. Anyways, go watch the film, go get your tickets. I hope to be back here for the next superhero film. I believe it's Shazam. I'm actually very excited for that film, so if you have a problem with that, don't take it here. If you watch Captain Marvel, let me know if you liked it or not, and if you think I should do a spoiler review. I really don't want to because, nah, I really should do it. Why not? But let me know if you want me to do that, and let me know what you think of the film. I hope you guys liked it as much as I did. And yeah, and we'll see each other the next time I put a video up here, which I hope will be soon. So thanks so much for joining, guys, and I appreciate you all. Mwah.